Welcome to another episode of vBrownBag Meet the Expert. And I am using the expert word very lightly here because I'm here with VCDX times 3 cloud networking and data center, Niran Even-Chen, who actually I've been trying to get this interview for a long time, so I'm super excited to be finally with him.
I'm excited to be here as well.
Yeah, man. So Niran, introduce yourself and I'll start asking you questions.
So my name is Niran Even-Chen. As Ariel mentioned, I work at VMware. I focus on NSX and cloud native applications. So it's NSXT with PCF and PKS and Kubernetes. That's kind of what I do right now. As you said, I'm a VCDX times 3, VCDX panelist, VCDX enthusiast, a VMware.
You just gave a VCDX workshop today. I've seen you gave one in New York when I was living there.
Yeah, so that's me.
And you're a great friend of the vMugs. I mean, you came here, literally said, I'll be there, and we basically told you, can you do this, can you do this? You never said no, and you've always been helping the New York and New Jersey vMugs, especially when we have, the whiteboard sessions and all these little things that we dream up. You're always there helping. So
I mean, it's a community, and I love it. The community is amazing.
So how I love to start is I love to get the story, and I know you have an amazing story behind you. So tell me your story, and then we'll dig deeper into some parts.
So when you say story, you mean my kind of career?
If you want to do your career, or if you want to tell me your whole story, you can do that.
Well, okay. So I kind of started my IT career in near 2000, 99, and I got here, and that's it. So I basically started as an MCSC, doing Microsoft stuff. I was a system administrator, and then I went to the consulting.
Hold on. We have to go a little bit back because one doesn't just get born in MCSE.
Oh, well, I did.
So how did high school into IT happen?
That's a funny story, actually. I was hitchhiking back from. I was in Israel, right? And I was hitchhiking back from the army, and I got a ride with the security guard in my school, and had a really nice car. So I asked him, dude, how did you get to this job? Oh, you were a security guard. He's like, oh, I did an MCSC. You should go do that. I'll do it, sure. And that's how I got to MCSC. So the first thing I did was an MCSC.
So coming out of high school, you told your parents, hey, I want to get an MCSC.
No, coming out of high school, I went to the army.
Right.
Coming out of the army, I went to did my MCSC. And then immediately I became a system administrator for college for a few months, and then for a bank. That was my first job. I wasn't doing any IT support or anything like that. Immediately, sysadmin. But then I started working for a consulting company. I was the most junior guy there. And the CTO one day said, we don't know what to do with you a lot. Here's that VMware thing. Try it out.
Try it out.
And that's how things started.
Wow, talk about a journey, right?
Yeah, so that was about 2000.
But this was still Israel.
Yes, that was Israel. And I became, the first VCP in Israel. I became an instructor.
I didn't know that.
I was teaching for about 6-7 years in Israel. I was the only instructor for about 5 years. I then trained many more instructors under me. The VMware office that got opened in Israel, the sales VMware office, I trained them as well. I wasn't working for VMware, but I was the VMware guy in Israel for many years.
The trainer.
Yeah, there was another guy who still works at VMware, lives in Boston, called Aviv. We had kind of parallel, but we were the VMware guys in Israel. So I worked with every conceivable customer in Israel, from banks to the army, healthcare, and so on. We did all the projects.
Cool. And when did you find yourself in the US? How did that happen? Yeah, I know. We're doing it live.
Okay.
I guess you're just gonna have to hurry up. Yeah. So how did you find yourself in the US?
Right, so as I said, I worked for every conceivable customer in Israel, and I got an opportunity to come and to be a CTO for a small services company in Los Angeles. They wanted to bring up a new services/consulting in their company, and that's what I came here to do. And I worked there for about 4 years until I got the job at VMware. I moved from LA, from the West Coast to the East Coast to work in Jersey. And that's how I started my career in Israel.
Why move to Jersey? I mean, typically VMware is Palo Alto.
That was the job. I got into a job for the sales at the East Coast, and that's basically how we got here. So
cool.
I did a few roles in VMware, but you know, the journey in VMware keep changing. We keep changing what we do. So it was performance, then moving to performance storage, then cloud. Then I was the SQL guy covering the best practices stuff on SQL, and now I do NSX for containers.
Cool. We're back.
We're back.
We didn't want to compete with Rebecca. We like Rebecca. All right, so we were talking about, I want you to tell me about your family. We're trying to get to know you, so I know your family is very important to you, and they're really, really cute, so tell me about them.
Okay, I hope that's interesting for the folks that watching this, but you know, I live in the United States, so all my family is in Israel, but I live with my beautiful wife in New Jersey, Helen, and I got two beautiful girls, 9 and 5, both named after princesses, so Leah and Ariel. Yeah, and we got 2 cats that, you know, we love cats, so that's something that we have in common.
Yes. Well, another thing that we have in common is your music tastes.
True. Well,
because I think you're even harder rock than me.
Well, music is my life, so I listen to a lot of things. But yeah, I'm originally and always I'm a metalhead. I love the power metal, and I love the grunge from the 90s, and every conceivable metal besides glam rock. Maybe that's not my thing, but I love metal and rock. Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay.
And I play guitar and stuff.
You play guitar?
I do play guitar.
I didn't know you play guitar.
And I'm trying to learn piano now.
You were telling me about piano, yes. So I play electric guitar, but not that good. There's a lot of people in the vCommunity that play guitar. I need more bassists and drummers so we can get some.
Nerds love guitars, man.
Yeah, I know. So tell me about. Well, this will feel like an obvious question, but 3 VCDXs. Tell me about the motivation internally to get that to that level.
Well, I told you already that I did my whole career on VMware, right? So getting the VCDX for data center virtualization was, the logical thing for me, especially when I was working back then as a performance specialist. So I had to know deep level vSphere, and getting the VCDX and the credibility that brings to you, and the amount of knowledge that makes sense. Then when I moved to work on cloud, I said, okay, I don't know a lot about cloud. I got to learn this and learn it deep. I'm going to I'm going to spend all this time, invest all this time in studying. Why don't I do a VCDX out of it? So I learned the subject, and I worked with my partner, Augustin Malenko. We worked on all our VCDXs together, and we did a really good, cool cloud design. And obviously that helped me excel in my role. And I did the same with this existing role that I'm doing right now, because I'm working on NSX. And I had knowledge of NSX, but obviously the goal was to know it in a level that I can stand in front of architects and with customers. So we worked on our design, and we finished our NSX and V design. And as I keep telling people, because I'm proud of the journey I did, it wasn't about vanity or about just showing off and getting all these VCDXs, and it wasn't about me being a panelist so it's easier for me. I did fail my first NSX NV because I was lacking in certain areas. I went back and I learned those areas, and I passed my NSX NV, and I also know much better now networking. And so this is for anyone that's want to go for VCDX. I totally urge you to do it if you really want to know a subject to the fullest and be an architect that can stand in front of a customer. Doing a VCDX, I think that's a great way to.
It's a great validation. Yeah. Well, I sense in you an unrelentless pursuit of learning more, because you could say VCDX, so I'm good.
Aren't we all?
But no, I think you are particular in that every year that I ask you how's work, how are you doing, you're doing something different. And it's not just like, oh, I'm doing something slightly different. It's like I'm doing something new completely.
Well, it's the company we work for. You work with VMware, it's me. Everyone that joins or wants to join VMware say, if you don't like changes, don't come to this company. And for me, it was every time I got called to the flag, I would say, I'm going where I'm needed. We know where the company needs, people to work the hardest, and those are what we call the needle movers. That's where I'm going to. So you're right. Every year almost every year. I completely changed almost 180 degrees. But specifically now, I think on NSX and containers, I think that would be a longer run, because if you look at what I did previously, NSX right now I'm joining at the point, and specifically NSX for containers, where it's just starting.
Yeah.
When we're speaking with customers and we're showing them NSXT and how it works with containers, they're completely blown away. They're like, wow, well, we want this tomorrow. I haven't heard that since vSphere. When I was selling VRA, or when we were working with customers on databases, virtualization, or performance, it was more of a let's do this job over time. With NSXT, it's like, oh, we got to do a POC tomorrow. So I love it. It's very exciting.
Cool, cool. All right, so we painted a picture of Niran, his IT career, your move from Israel, your family, your likes. We painted a bit about your enthusiasm and a passion for learning. What are we missing here? If we want to know about Niran, what do we have to ask him about?
To be honest, VMware since 2000 was everything I do. So I'm a big VMware fanboy, and it's a big part of everything I do. It's the company, it's working with you and other people at VMware. I love that. It's the community around VMware. I sometimes call it's even at the level of a cult, and I say that in a positive way, because people who follow VMware or work with VMware are doing it through the bad times and the good times, through the ups and the downs. Management changes. This company owns us. The other company owns us. The group that covers VMware in the community has always stayed the same. People are just they stay, and that's what keeps the company with its values. So I'm a big VMware person, and that's a big part of what I do, and I enjoy it very much. I don't feel like I'm working, to be honest. Like every time I get up in the morning, I feel like I'm going to the playground. I'm going to play with my toys and to speak with people about things I'm passionate about. That's basically, and I love traveling. Yeah. So if I would do something for myself, I would take me and my family would go traveling somewhere, right? Okay. But besides that, it's just.
So tell me about. We talked a little bit about the community, right? And I established in the first part of our video that you are a supporter of people in the community. But tell me about attitudes that you see in people that you have mentored or that you see are just coming into VMware that help them succeed. Like, you've seen waves and waves and waves of people come in, and what do you find that those people that get it do right?
Yeah, that's a great question, Ariel. And I'm not saying that because I like you. It's a really good question. See, if you look at VMware, we have stated values. We call it the epic values. The VMware constantly talks about these values. You hear that from management and you hear that from people all the time. It's really something that's important. Like, if you want to move ahead in the company, you really need to fit the culture, which is, working with everybody, sharing your ideas, sharing your information, promoting other people, it also promotes you. And you look at the waves of people coming to VMware, like NSX, when it started, we had lots of people coming from Cisco. You have acquisitions coming in. The people that didn't fit into the culture of the company, that may fit into other corporate cultures. Every corporate has its identity, may not have held up for a long time at VMware. But the people that really fit into the culture love change, love moving fast. They love working with people. They love sharing their ideas, as I said. Those type of people will stick, and they stay at VMware, and people stay for many, many years. You've got people that are 16 years at VMware, like Hans. Love you, Hans. So I think this company is a great place to be if you fit into the company culture, and that's what you're looking for. Obviously, as I said, you gotta love change, and you gotta work hard and study all the time. If that's your thing, VMware is a great place to be.
That's perfect. What about applying the same question to the vCommunity, like administrators that are starting out that you see when you go to a vMug session or stuff like that, or in the VCDX workshops? What do you think are the qualities that make good administrators and administrators that you see get better and better?
So first off, I would say that anybody going into VMware technologies right now has a job security for the next 20 years. Because this stuff is going to stay. It's gonna stick. I know, like if you asked me 10 years ago, I had people coming to me and saying, how long do you think this VMware thing will go on? It's gonna run out for soon, you know, but it still goes on strong. vSphere is strong at our customers use it. Enterprises use vSphere. NSX is really growing immensely. vSAN, the new acquisitions we do become really strategic. So anyone going in to start working with VMware stuff, I would definitely suggest to keep on studying and learn the whole breadth of what VMware does, because it's no longer only virtualization. And to be honest, and I'm not biased at all, you saw, is our technologies are best. What we produce as products are the most innovative, in my opinion, in the market.
Okay, so things that I think that you personify, I've seen you have excellent integrity, you have passion, so almost the epic values to the T, right? But I've also found that and I've seen you as a former leader, when you talk to people, you are always open to them. You always have this welcoming attitude with newcomers, and when they're asking you questions, it's never it's done this way. It's always trying to understand how they are. So I've always admired that a lot about you, that you are so far ahead in so many areas of IT, and yet you've always found the enough empathy, and I consider it like a fraternal love to that person that is just starting out.
It's not contradicting. It's actually tight, and I'll explain. You know Feng Shui. So Feng Shui, which I like. There's one thing about it that I really believe in. You got to clean up the old to get the new.
Okay.
The way it works with knowledge, if you give your knowledge all the time, first of all, it pushes you to keep learning new things. For people that hoard their knowledge so that other people won't get an advantage on them, stay back. They put a lot of effort to keep what they already have. I take a different approach. And I'm an instructor by heart. I was 9 years an instructor. I love teaching. So I keep giving my knowledge out and creating collateral as much as I can for people to use, and try to help people to actually succeed in their job. And when people succeed as much as me on something, that pushes me also to go and learn new things so I can help more people. So you said that you admire the ability to be open while still learning new things. You learn new things because you keep being open. And the more you open, the more you learn new things, and you push yourself further. So I'm not planning to stay behind. I'm not planning to stay put. I'm going to run forward, and I'm going to help anybody to come with me. That's my motto.
Very good. I like it. So how can people reach out to you?
Twitter. It's Niran EC, NIRAN-EC. I think that's the best way to if you're not at VMware, if you had VMware, I mean, we got like 6,000 communication channels. You can use one of them. Slack, Socialcast, Skype for business, whatever you choose, email.
All right. Or if you go to a local Eastern VMUG, I'm pretty sure you're going to run into Niran at some point.
Yeah. Sometimes I have conflicts, so I don't get to attend all the VMUGs, but every VMUG I could put my hands on, I would probably be there. So everything around the East, Pittsburgh or New York or New Jersey or Connecticut or even Boston, I'll be there.
Cool.
Yes.
Anything that you want to say to anybody that's out there getting to know you for the first time?
Oh, getting to know me for the first time, because I want to say to all my peeps, the guys, I love you guys, and anybody getting to know me. I mean, if you have any question about VCDX or about anything VMware, feel free to reach out, and I'll try to help as much as I can.
Awesome. Well, Niran, I really appreciate it. It was a long time coming until we had this one, so I'm super happy.
Thank you, Ariel. I appreciate it.
All righty.